My name is Maj Friberg and I am a paediatric haemophilia nurse centered in Copenhagen. I am also the chair of the EAHAD Nurses Committee. Becoming confident living with haemophilia is mostly about having skills and knowledge. It's about having an in-depth understanding of bleed recognition and treatment of bleeds, and knowing the medicine, how it works when you're safe and when you're less protected. It's something about not just being familiarized with it, but have a deep understanding of it. That gives you the skills and the confidence that you can actually act no matter what happens. For younger families with newly diagnosed, they don't have any skills necessarily at all, or any knowledge up front when the child is diagnosed. So for them, they're catapulted into this existential crisis where they're just fearful for their child, and they feel that they are not competent as parents and they can't take care of the child. So they are very quickly rushed into this rapid period of learning where they have to learn all these skills in order to take care of their family and in order to keep their child safe. These things changes, of course, when the child gets older. It's not as dramatic, and they get more accustomed to it, and they learn that they actually do have the skills to manage this, and it stops being an existential crisis and more of practicalities instead on how you manage the disease. I've heard from caregivers that they're very concerned when they have to let someone else take care of their child, for instance schools or daycare, and they express concerns that their child might not be, or they might not be heard. They're very much concerned that their child might not be taken serious, and on the other hand they're very concerned that their child will be overprotected, that their child will not be given the same opportunities as others. They will be left out of field trips or perceived as more fragile than others, and it's really important for the child's mental development and physical development that they do explore the world and do the same as other children. So confidence evolves as the child ages when they're being properly supported. So a child that's being supported by their healthcare team and their parents and praised for the efforts they make, that makes all the difference. If you're praised when you learn, not necessarily because you do perfectly, but the fact that you understood the assignment as a child and given praise for that you recognize the situation, that helps develop your skills and also your confidence. When the child needs to start taking care of themselves or to have the responsibility, some people choose an either-or solution where it's your turn to take care of everything. And not all children are ready for that. They're very afraid that the child will make mistakes, but it is a responsibility that should be given gradually. So small mistakes when you're younger might prevent bigger mistakes later, but start small. Like children can get their own medicine from storage. They can use the alcohol swipes or apply a tourniquet, or they can learn how to express themselves to other people. So there's tiny skills you can teach them. You can ask them, are you ready to handle this yourself, or should I do part of it, or should I remind you how to do this? So the role of protection is tremendous in how people perceive the world and how confident they feel. And today is quite different than it was 5 years ago, we have to be honest. And the challenges that people faced with a newly diagnosed child is quite different today because the treatment has become so much better. That also means that people learn faster how to treat themselves and how the medicine works, and they have bigger confidence because they realize that they can actually forget about the haemophilia unless they have to give them the medicine, because they're so well protected, and they see their child or children playing with each other, and the child with haemophilia might not even be the one that has the most bruises anymore. That's something new that's happened within the last 5 years, so there's been a complete change in how confident families feel now that we have a better treatment. So protection is very, very important. One advice I give parents when they're apprehensive about their child, for instance, participating in sports, is that you have to realize that we have the knowledge and we know that being physically active actually protects you from bleeds. You need to have strong muscles, you need to have tendons that can move, you need dexterity, you need all these things to keep yourself safe. And also they have to realize the child is already moving. That's what they do when they're at the playground, that's what happens in the schoolyard. They are playing football, whether you like it or not. And they're actually doing it in a setting where there's no supervision. The more you let your child engage in planned activities, the more they will get the right kind of coaching. One advice I would give to someone who's very hesitant to let go is you have to acknowledge the fact that your child will develop, whether you're ready for it or not, and you need to follow along. Tiny steps, for instance, with the younger child is to sometimes let them stay with at the healthcare clinic and do what we call split visits, where the child is there the whole time, but the parent leaves some of the time, so the child has a stage where they can express themselves and ask questions they might not ask otherwise. I advise parents to shift the focus from control to preparation. Tasks can be every time the child needs to do something new, you can make plans for how you're going to work together. Instead of saying you can't go, and you have to ask yourself what would other young people do at this age if they didn't have hemophilia. Maybe saying, have you involved your friends? Do they know how to keep you safe? Should we call each other during the night? So it's more about planning how to do things than it is to say no. Sometimes you restrict the child because it's an automatic response, and it's a good thing to check in every once in a while where that's coming from. Is the child actually in danger, or is it coming from your own anxiety that's just automatically saying no? Especially as the child grows older, it will be really difficult to collaborate with a teenager if you have that automatic no all the time in order to feel safe yourself. It's also perfectly okay to say that this is causing your anxiety. You don't have to conceal it. You can just admit it and say, this does make me worried. It's not because I don't trust you, but it's just, it triggers something in me as a person. As a parent, you're not perfect, but you have to meet your child halfway. It might be really helpful to distinguish between your boundaries and your child's life, because your responsibility as a parent is to set boundaries, to provide support and information and take care of the child overall, but it's the child's responsibility to live its life. It is to test those boundaries, it is to explore the world.